Good day, boys and girls. In today's video, I will do a very quick take on why I feel that all ESO players will really enjoy Baldur's Gate 3. If you have no idea what BG3 is, firstly, welcome back to Earth. Secondly, Baldur's Gate 3 is a single player game with an epic legacy to it where it has big shoes to fill. The original Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 were released more than 20 years ago, and they were really cult classics that kind of shaped the CRPG landscape. Fast forward 20 years later, BG3 came out with a lot of hype and expectation, and having sunk around 30 to 40 hours in, I can say that it more than fulfills the expectations that fans of the franchise have of it. It's collecting really good reviews left, right and center from everybody, and this is a game which I think ESO players will really enjoy for 3 good reasons. Let's dive in right now. Now, the first reason is story. Alright, I believe that the PvE contingent in the ESO community is probably the bigger one, and most of y'all would really like a good compelling narrative. Now, BG3 as a single player game allows you to really indulge as the main character, to be the guy that will save the realm, to be the guy where the entire narrative and all the other characters revolve around. So it allows you to have that hero messiah feeling where you can go all out, shape your destiny, rescue the broken, the beaten and the damned. And to be fair, in an MMO flooded with other human players, you're not going to be getting that feeling all the time, especially in crowded places. Or if you get trolled by some salty PvP players. Okay, moving on. Point number 2, visual aesthetics. Right now, BG3 is looking really good visually, and the main point I really want to make is just how similar the aesthetics and the visual palette reminds me of ESO. They almost look like they are distant cousins of each other. Now let's roll back a little bit. The first Elder Scrolls game that I played was Morrowind back in 2002. It was released just shortly after the Throne of Baal expansion for Baldur's Gate 2, and the two games couldn't look more different. Fast forward 20 years to now, thanks to globalization and some gentrification of gaming design, we're starting to get AAA titles looking a lot like each other, for better or worse, but right now these two games actually look pretty similar. So if the ESO gameplay environment rocks your boat, then BG3 will probably do the same. Like walking through High Isles and walking through different parts of BG3 actually make me feel like I'm living in a multiverse as a different character, doing a different quest altogether. And the last but not least point I wish to make is about combat. Allow me to go into a little bit more detail about this. Combat of ESO is generally regarded as one of the best MMOs get to offer. You get to master the craft of weaving light attacks, heavy attacks, and then after that perfecting a complex or not so complex permutation of your skills in order to be able to pass the highest possible DPS known to mankind or known to Tamriel. So there's a lot of satisfaction in that craft. Unfortunately, the dynamic gameplay is severely compromised by the lag and the underperforming servers that we often get. So when I hop over to BG3, it became a turn-based combat system and the pace immediately slowed down 100 years. Alright, now initially I was a little bit worried about BG3 taking on and adopting a strategy not too different from the pen and paper that we used to know in the 80s. BG1 and 2 took a hybrid whereby you can just press the spacebar, pause, and then plan what you want to do, press the spacebar again, go back to real-time action, and I thought that was a pretty perfect strategy to have an engaging combat system. Now BG3 decided not to go that route, and I must say that having played a short while, I actually do appreciate the changes that they make. The combat in BG3 felt a little bit like playing chess. I have to plan every move. I have to plan to use the terrain, obstacles, which spell and which explosive device to use that would greatly change the nature of each battle. So there's high replayability and there's a lot of me sitting back thinking, what should my next move be? This is actually pretty good for a gamer who's closer to his 50s than to his 30s, right? ESO often left me a shattered soul when I finished. I made a lot of effort to try to weave through the lag and my hands were left numb after each combat. But BG3 actually left me a lot more relaxed I would think playing in the middle of the night, I enjoyed the combat experience a lot more. It's less intense and I'm challenged more mentally than physically. So yeah, it is a welcome change for me, and I thought it might be so for those gamers in ESO who are actually a little bit older and more mature, and you don't want to be flexing your finger muscles all the time to spell weave and light attack weave and whatever. So yep, that's my final point. I think you will thoroughly enjoy the new combat system. You can even get to push an opponent down the cliff. How cool is that, right? So in summary, I would say BG3 is a definite go. If you like RPG, you like fantasy RPG, this game hit all the right buttons. It is a home run. Do get it if you have the means to do so. It is an experience that I highly recommend and encourage. Alright, have a good day everybody, either in Tamriel or in Farron.